Professor Vijay Kumar Tarakamanda from Osmania University, translator, TEDx speaker and founder editor of News India and Kanya Sudgam and critical Professor Vijay Kumar Tarakamanda.
Because we at the Hyderabad Literary Festival had the pleasure of having a panel on her earlier book on the Hyderabad taste. And so this is of course a completely different kind of a book, which is, the earlier one also was based on a real incident, and so is this. So for a book like this, I don't know if I should begin by saying that I enjoyed reading the book, because this is not a book that you are supposed to enjoy. I think this is the kind of a book that should make you feel worried and should actually depress you. Because it's based on real life stories, and but of course Sharmishtha Reddy has the ability and the skill to turn what otherwise everybody reads almost every day in newspaper columns but doesn't really think too much about it. To turn those, probably Sharmishtha Reddy actually uses different narrative techniques, which is very interesting. You know, she doesn't just narrate it as an incident, but turns it very dramatic. And in each of those stories, she uses a different kind of narrative method.
Of course, now my health is not very good. My respiratory system is under duress. But still I wanted to come here. Because Sharmishtha I have known for long. I know her since her first book, which she told me, actually I had forgotten about it. I asked her, why do you write only on crime? So why do you write only crime stories? So it came out that she used to write for her son, and even now she writes for her son. So because the young people are interested in crime, that's how we started writing. Then her first book was also on some crimes, which apparently was released by me only, I don't know how to correct. The son of course has become big. He is now a bits engineer and working for Infosys Wipro somewhere and Google. She is like a typical Bengali woman, dominates over her husband. You can't see her husband around. Doctor don't even be there. And she treats him also like that. She is forward and he follows her. And he does everything for her. This book is interesting. She's a prolific writer, I must say. Because I think she has written about 7-8 books. And this book also she gave it to me a couple of weeks back, but that I was shifting homes. So in that process, I could never read it properly. And this morning when I returned, I started looking at the book. So you can say that I have not read it properly. I will go back and read it now, especially that Professor Vijay Kumar is recommending it so highly. The book is very interesting, of course, and it is not easy to be a good author, which she is become now. So this is a book which is based. This book is based on true stories which are drawn from senior police officers or like Chicago or etc. etc. But to make those stories, which as stories are most difficult job, which Mr. Shana has done, and therefore she has to be commended for that. You must also
To have with us Srimati Shikha Goyal, IPS, DG and Director, Telangana Cyber Security Bureau and Forensic Science Laboratory, our chief guest of this evening, who I now invite to share her reflections. I have already introduced her with the same words, but I would like to reiterate that she is a senior IPS pioneering initiatives in women's safety, cybercrime prevention, and community policing. Today, she heads cybersecurity for Telangana. Her leadership has set national benchmarks.
First of all, the evening belongs to Sharmishtha, so a big round of applause for her. It was almost, I think, 2 years back, right? So it was about 2 years back when she came and met me in my office at the Women's Safety Wing. And to be honest, I was a bit skeptical when she said that she wanted to write about some of our cases. As you would all appreciate that all these cases relate to women or children, and therefore we are extremely protective about this. To share these details with someone who's outside the department and who's outside in this entire frame. So I was really skeptical in the beginning. But when we had a couple of sessions, then I realized that her intention probably would be good. I mean, her intention is good, there's no doubt about it. But bringing out these stories or giving them life may serve a larger purpose. As Professor Vijay Kumar said, is that for most of us, day in and day out, there are so many newspaper items or those breaking news which come that we have in a way become insensitive to crime. So it just becomes from one headline to another headline and you don't really think about what is actually happening. And therefore I felt that if these stories are brought out in a very, very sensitive manner, which I realized that she had that kind of an understanding and empathy with her, that she could portray it in a manner which does not, as we say, sense of melodrama than actual. We forget often that there is a life behind every case. There is a family which gets destroyed. There is a person whose future is shattered. And that kind of a sensitivity in these days of breaking news is lost. And I then thought that yes, it's a good idea to bring them to light, and that is how this book came into being. And I can't say again that I'm happy, but I can say that when she asked me to write the foreword, and then that is the time when we actually went through the book, in a real manner than how it had come up. So it really again touched me so much because it brought back so many memories of all those cases which many of them when you have personally handled, many of them where you have been associated in some way or the other. And therefore, it, brought in a host of emotions. There were emotions of sadness, of grief, of anger, as well as emotion of, yes, whatever I can do at least at my level and with my team to see that whatever good the police department can do to at least help out such victims in distress. The journey of the victims through the criminal justice system a little more easier to prevent any re-victimization which might happen.
And for providing access to case files that helped me bring authenticity and accuracy to these stories. I am also deeply thankful to the Hyderabad police and of course Ms. Shikha Goel for the remarkable work they do every day to safeguard women and children. Most of all, I want to thank the survivors and families whose stories inspired this book. Their courage in the face of unimaginable pain is what gives these pages meaning. The world remembers Pulan Devi, the bandit queen who turned parliamentarian. After all her suffering, she said once in an interview that she would prefer to be reborn as an animal. Every woman who has endured pain in silence and still found the strength to rise. I hope this book sparks empathy, awareness, and above all, the belief that none of us should suffer in silence. Together we can work towards a society that is safer, kinder, and more just. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart.
That is to take the center stage today.
Ask them to come for it.
Look